Hey there, this is Valcamera from Dreamlight. Welcome to the free bonus video series where I'll show you some of my best HDR rendering techniques for free. Although I'll be showcasing examples using the free Studio 3 software and Photoshop, these techniques are completely generic and can be applied to most modern 3D applications as well as Studio software. In video number 5, I'll show the pros and cons of small versus large HDR maps. Alright guys, so here again I'm inside Dash Studio and free 3D software from Dash 3D, and we have our beach girl and we have an HDR map. And today I want to talk about how different maps differ depending on the resolution. There is pros and cons with maps that are high resolution and versus low resolution. Now what does it mean? The first thing you want to notice, this is an 8K map. An 8K map means it's 8,000 pixels times 4,000. And I'm not talking about this thing you see here. I'm talking about the actual map, the actual image. Let me just locate it here, right? This very image you see here. It's 8,000 times 4,000 pixels. This is what 8K means. HDR maps are always twice as wide as high. Now 8,000 8K is a lot, and as you can see it looks really good. It doesn't look blurry, it looks very sharp, right? And a lot of people think you have to use 16K or 12K or 24K maps or whatever. And the thing is, when using high resolution maps you will get better lighting, better shadows, but it's gonna be very heavy on your system. And I mean very heavy. Each time you double the map, you quadruple the memory. Okay, so 16K map, if you click on 16K, you will see maybe subtle shift in the sand. Okay, let's just wait for it to load here real quick. By the way, it takes a while, right? That's a 16K map. It takes a while to load them. It's a huge memory overhead. And as you can see, it's not a huge difference. It's a little bit sharper. I wouldn't say it's wow, but it is a little bit sharper. When do you use 16K? When you zoom in, my friend. When you zoom in and get really close to your character, here on the ground, that's where you need the resolution. Alright, when you zoom in. But when you're zoomed out, you don't need 16K. Okay, so you can use 16K for extreme close-ups, but when you are having a wide view, like in this case here, you don't need that. You can frankly use maybe possibly even 4K. I would say 8K is kind of the limit when it starts to get a little bit blurry, but 4K is, as you can see, it's pretty okay, right? It's not a bad render. This is 4K. I mean, it sounds ridiculously low, right? Let's zoom out a little bit more. But the thing is, you can get away with it if it's zoomed out. 2K is very blurry, but as you can see, it loads really quickly, right? Can you use 2K? Yes, you can. When? 2K is perfect when you zoom in on your character, but don't show the ground. Voila, works perfectly. Okay, you don't even need to use camera depth of field because it becomes blurry automatically, right? So when you don't see the ground and when you can live or when you want a blurry background, using low resolution maps is perfect. It's very quick to render. It works perfectly with animation. As long as it's a close-up, far away, it works perfectly. Ideally, you can start to see some kind of pixelation. So ideally, I would pair this with a real camera depth of field. So in this case, I would just select the camera, turn depth of field on, and let's jump to top view, and let's set it properly around here, and let's just make it a little bit less intense by increasing this f-stop value, maybe some more. So now we are blurring it and using the low resolution map. This is perfect and it looks perfect. There's nothing wrong with it, and you can use it for animation, and it renders really quickly and loads quickly. So now you can see that, you know, just because someone says, hey, 24K map, you have to use them. Well, you can. It will look awesome when you zoom in. If you don't zoom in, 8K, 10K is sufficient. Okay? If you want to go even lower, 4K, even 2K is perfect for depth of field renders that are zoomed in where you don't see the ground near your character or prop or model. So there is a benefit in using even low resolution maps. All right? So don't get caught in this, you have to have 16K or 24K or 18K. It's ridiculous. Everything above 16K is, you don't use it. Very seldom you need to use a map that's more than 16K, very seldom. Most other cases, I use 10, possibly 12, 8, perfect. All right. Now, if you load or download a map and it's only, well, let's say it's 16K, right? 16,000 pixels. Well, you can load it into Photoshop or any other 2D application, scale it down to 8,000 or 6,000 or 10,000 instead of the high resolution map. It will look great if you don't, zoom in on the ground. All right, that's all for today. Tomorrow I'll be back with yet another video where I'll show you how to tweak HDR maps inside Photoshop. Also, if you're interested in more cool HDR maps, then I've created a very special, unique offer just for you with hundreds of amazing HDR maps. Click on the continue button below to check it out. Thanks for watching and see you on the next page.